start with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'm gonna go with no visitors. Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes of the last meeting? Do I hear a motion to approve or amend them?
I move to approve. I'll second.
Great.
Diane,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes. So the next item is the comprehensive plan. We all have a copy and received it earlier in the week. I barely perused it, so anybody here sat and read it word for word, you'd be welcome to sort of take over at this point, but I have seen it before.
So our charge is to approve this or make suggestions?
Well, yeah,
Yes.
we need to review it, because we update it every
Okay.
few years. And Lisa, I meant to ask about this earlier too. I'm on, I don't know if it's elsewhere too, but I'm on page 10 and there are some strikeouts. And I wondered if those are current or if this is just a version from before that still has them.
we just had that discussion before you got here.
Oh, okay.
We thought that possibly it was revisions to this copy, but we could not find any other like ones that said revised in the date,
Right.
so we're not 100% sure, honestly.
Does any of this have to do with the changing or with the, what are the right letters that I'm looking for?
Yeah, I can read it.
The RRC?
Yes.
Yes, that's the one.
I don't believe so.
No.
Because I know that was one of the things I think in their whole plant review and all that other stuff for.
Yes, so, actually, I wasn't sure, did you send an email today?
Yes.
Yes, she did.
Okay, so, we will be using a firm to come in and they are going to help us, because it's recommended every 5 years to, update, and McKenna is coming in to help us go through and create a new comprehensive plan. And that meeting is scheduled for August 11th. It's a Wednesday at 7:30. Sorry.
Here.
Yeah, it'll be here.
All right, great. So I think that is what, when we were first talking about this, it was sort of out in the distance a little ways. And I mentioned to Joe that we've had a consultant in the past and he said, you know, that's going to kind of fall into the RRC. Is that what we're talking about? It's dovetailing now. This is that time. Okay.
I kind of assumed that when I saw all these changes, it was part of.
I know.
Right.
Well, I don't know if there are any earlier ones. I see on page 10, second step, or well, first step under number 4, it's talking about locations for recycling centers, but then those were closed for curbside. And I'm thinking that that's, you know, maybe that was the last time, because if they were striking that out, it was probably because they were going to curbside. That's just a thought. And then investigate, yeah, the next one is voluntary curbside. They struck that too, because I think they probably had it in place.
So just for clarification, Heather, McKenna, they've already reviewed this and they're gonna come with recommendations.
So we'll do it just like a basic kickoff meeting to kind of introduce the process, make sure everybody has an understanding of what's going to be happening, and then move on from there. I don't think that first meeting they'll have that all in place yet.
Okay. But they're gonna come to us with some ideas as well as us having
Yes.
looked at it. Okay, good. That's exciting.
So the way this is crossed out and highlighted and stuff, it looks like your typical draft copies.
Mhm. They couldn't find a later one, so this may be where,
Even I just ran back and got my book, but I had like my actual, and it has the same thing in it. So was that never updated, or were we never given like the updated copy? I have no idea, that's really weird.
I was gonna say, this looks like the last time when we had a draft and we said, yeah,
yeah, I think that's
if I
what it
remember
is.
right. Because I remember a lot of this stuff already going through.
Right,
'Cause
that's what, remember when we did it in 17.
I remember the
we were
create mixed use green, mixed use districts were appropriate, not, stuff like that. I remember talking
Yeah,
about a
we
lot of
went
these.
through the recycling, because we were like, well, we don't have a recycling where you drop off, we have the curbside. I remember all of this from 17.
So I'm wondering if somehow this was the draft copy, but never got cleaned up, cleared out, and made the official.
Were they crossing them off as the things were being done? Because
Well,
like
the
the one
cross
was the boundless playground, which we have. Another one was LED lights, which I think we're all.
Yeah, we crossed
I
off.
think it was redundant, and that's why
Well,
it's.
it was, at one point, originally it was including investigation of the feasibility of switching to LED. And we went, no, we're already continuing switching to, because we already started the switch, so we crossed out including the investigation part and changed it to continuing,
Right.
so. And now we may have all that done, I don't know.
I think we do.
So if, I would say if we have some of that stuff done, of course, I'm gonna guess when they come and go through all that.
Or is it
We'll
like you
get-
said, is it like, okay, we've done this, we'll put stripes through it, then it looks like, in our comprehensive plan, we're actually like, I'm not sure exactly.
Oh, leaving that there, you
You
mean?
know what I'm saying, it
instead of-
shows that, that has been taken off of.
But I mean, the way it's crossed out and highlighted, it really reminds me of when we did the,
See, that's what I'm saying, and there's another one in there about village hall, updating village hall. Relocate and expand village office.
Oh, yeah, green construction, I remember that.
You remember that?
Mhm.
because the questionnaire stuff's all attached to it.
When we did
When
that
we did
back.
the questionnaire.
So is there an issue? I mean, should we have a more recent copy? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think this is
Hmm.
the most recent that just hasn't been cleaned up.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I have a question.
Please.
Is the board being asked to take any action on this plan, or is this being shared with them so that they can prepare for the meeting and the revised plan? Because it's my understanding, and Heather, correct me if I'm wrong, that the new it'll be completely new. It's not going to be built off of this.
okay.
So I don't think that you guys need to necessarily take any action tonight, but I think what would be really important is to go through all of this and see what's still relevant today, and what maybe needs to be included in this new revised plan, and have some different feedback and ideas. Maybe there's something in this plan that you guys feel is really useful. Maybe there's something that we just don't like, and that way we can bring that to McKenna at the meeting on the 11th.
I love that, the idea of just carrying forward what we think really works and is still a goal and is still not accomplished. And then I assume, it was the village president that asked, he texted me and asked me to make sure that this was gonna happen. But then I knew that there was gonna be a larger discussion. And I don't remember, don't you think, Ben, in the past, what we've done is once we get it to a finished draft point, it goes to council and they either approve it or they don't.
Correct.
So,
Yeah, and I believe that this board, and I still need to review your bylaws and get completely up to speed on everything. But I do think it's really vital that this board have a huge contribution to the plan. And I think you guys would make a recommendation to the village council, who does have the ultimate say. But I think you guys recommending this new revised plan before it goes to council just gives it even more a foundation moving forward to help get some of these things done and move the community forward. Where it's not just the village council saying, yeah, let's do this. It's also you guys, Parks and Recreation Board's been invited. I do believe DDA will be part of it. So it's not just you guys, but just the more backing we can get, the more eyes, the better the plan's going to be overall.
yeah, for sure. And I have an idea along those lines, but I'm looking at part 3, just because this is listing of priorities, and I see that the survey's in here. Do we know that that's the most recent survey? Like, when was the last one done?
This is the last one that was done.
Okay. So would that have been 17 or would it have been earlier? Maybe 16?
It was 16 is the date.
The end of 16, wasn't there summer?
It's dated for 2016. I'm not sure exactly when.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
And I did ask Heather that question too. We'll have to look at the scope of services for McKenna, but I would imagine that they would probably do some sort of revised survey. If not, I think that the village could work on something to help get some good information and feedback from the residents, but I've not been part of a master plan or comprehensive plan revision that didn't include some sort of survey.
Right. Well, and I know that at one of the events downtown that I was covering at the time, they did have a table and they were asking people to give input.
Yeah, that was
So-
for the DDA, TIF renewal.
Oh, okay. But it's the
They
same
still-
group, correct?
It is,
Yeah.
so they will have access to all of that.
Okay.
They can use the information they've already gathered, but I'm sure there's probably different questions they want to ask with this too.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, well, I'll just put this out there and anybody, we can brainstorm, but I'm sure they can guide it. There are so many items and so many steps in here. And I think it would be great, I mean, now that I have hands on it, if we went over this away from here and just marked what we thought was really important and something that still seems to be moving us forward versus is this too much? I mean, sometimes there are so many goals that they'd be hard to prioritize and maybe some of them can just be.
Well, but that's what they're doing. That's not us. That's what that company's coming to do.
Well, I
They're
know,
gonna
but
do
as
that plan.
Danielle said, for us as residents and as the planning commission to say, we'd like to bring these forward as being particularly important right now to the village, right?
I definitely think it's important to, what is still relevant that we want to make sure moves forward.
Exactly.
Now, I do think you can have more than what we can achieve in a year because this should be a several year plan. The other thing is it should be a fluid document. So once you and council adopt this new plan, you guys as a board every year, at least once a year, should be looking at that plan and saying, okay, what things can we work on? What things have we completed? So it's not meant to be something you do it all at once, but over a period of time. It also can be used as a tool when we're presenting budget to council. We can talk about some of the priorities in here and link that to the budget, and maybe that moves it up to a higher priority than something else. If we have somebody come in that wants to do a development, does it fit within this plan that we've adopted? It's kind of our vision. So I think it can be more than just a year, but I do think it's important to say what is in here that needs to move forward and still hasn't been achieved and is still a priority for us.
That's what And is there something missing? I mean,
Now, with the RRC, they're looking for specific things though to be certain priorities and stuff, right? Typically,
For the redevelopment readiness communities,
Yes.
is that what you're talking about? Yeah, they're going to have set criteria, and hopefully McKenna will be,
Yeah.
they'll be able to help pinpoint the things that are going to need to stay in there to meet those.
this needs to stay in, this needs to be more prioritized.
Yes.
We need to add this. We need
Yes.
to pull this back because of
Yes.
mhm.
priorities and stuff. So I mean, even though we may prioritize stuff, we may not be able to if we want to do the RRC thing.
in
In
the
some
final
ways,
version,
yes.
I'm aware, I'm
Okay, I
just
just want to
saying,
make sure we all understood that, we're on the
There
same page there, I didn't.
I'm gonna do it. So,
No,
it's
no, I-
okay, you know, that's whatever, we can wait for them, but I don't wanna wait for them, because you know there are things that I think,
No, I
it's not in
understand.
here, I'm gonna pencil it in, because I think it's important, so that's, you know, as an idea. So I think it's a really awesome opportunity for us to be able to look at this and say, as people who've been here and heard what, you know, as people come in and want variances and whatever, since we know those things,
Right,
it has, you know, value to use that info, so.
I agree, I just wanted you to be aware that, you know, because of RRC, that we may have to step back on something to push that forward.
Well, yeah,
I
whatever,
just, yeah.
whatever serves it, yeah, absolutely.
So we'll go home, study this, make some notes, come back and be ready for the discussion on the 11th.
We would love for all of you to attend that meeting, or at least have somebody that can represent you, whether that be Amy as the chair. But definitely, again, the more heads and more input we can get in this, the better finished product we're going to have.
Right. And then are there, I don't remember this happening, but are there hearings or anything as far as for the public to give comment, or is the survey considered their comment?
I need to look at the scope from McKenna. I've not done that yet, so I'm not sure what their scope, if it was just getting a survey out, or if there was actually a public meeting, or both possibly. So I'll have to look at that and I can let you guys know, and that's something we can certainly talk to them about next week too, to see what their how they were going to address those and get some of that public feedback.
Okay, great. Well, I'm looking forward to that. I was kind of excited to get the email and know that was going on. So is everybody, since we're just looking at it, is everybody comfortable with that, like taking it back and, okay,
Yes,
okay. Cool.
Are you comfortable with us coming to the meeting with our own ideas, or would you like us to email you our comments so that you can be the spokesperson on the August 11th,
That's a
or doesn't it matter?
good question. I don't know. Do you think that would be helpful? I know that mailing list was long. A lot of people could potentially be there.
Right. I would possibly, I think giving it to Amy, if you're gonna be there, would be beneficial, but still come just in case the format's different than that.
Mhm,
And then you're still able to give feedback and discussion.
mhm.
Well, and we could all, I mean, it's not a lot of time that we have to do this, but we could all share if we, you know, if you guys are open to that and have time for that too. I don't know. I may be out of town early next week, but I definitely want to be at the meeting and wouldn't be coming home any later than Wednesday. So I can make sure.
The other thing you could do too is copy Heather, who, if we run out of time at the meeting or it's not brought up, she can always forward that email to McKenna so that they have that feedback. That way, if it's not addressed, and again, I'm not sure what the format of the meeting will be exactly, but we can make sure to include that stuff. Where it's not one of those things you think of it and then forget to bring it up and it gets overlooked. That's what I would do.
Okay. Should we just send them to you? I want to keep the communication lines really clear, so.
I would just copy me, so
Okay.
that way you have them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good deal. Yep, my email's in that header list, obviously, so. Okay, is there any unfinished business from last month that anybody would like to address or finish?
Trying to think back.
I know what you mean. Or new business that anybody wants to bring. Okay.
I just wanna say that I put a post on social media, Facebook and the website saying that we are down members. We did not have anyone apply, but I don't know if you wanna get the word out that obviously we
Okay.
need some more members, not only for planning commission, but some of the other seats on the different boards. That would be great. Or if you know anyone that might be interested that could lend some great ideas, that would be wonderful. The application for board members, now that we have Heather made one up for RRC, is on the Facebook page, actually or not the website, the first page over on the right-hand column down at the bottom says board application. So
Okay,
that would be wonderful.
great. Good, I'm glad you said that. And because we're short 3, right?
We're
Well,
short 2.
We're only replying, yeah, okay.
Correct. But as of right now, if one of you don't show up, we don't have a quorum.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a little dicey.
I just have a question. If I have a question for well, I don't know if it's for the council or for who it's for, I need to come to the council meeting, right? And ask the question.
Correct. Council meetings are open to the public.
Okay.
And
You know, I read what's going on in the advance and have questions, so the appropriate thing to do would be to come to the meeting, right?
yes,
Okay.
You mean versus?
Rather than
emailing
ask here
somebody.
or talking about it here, yeah.
Okay.
yeah, if it's something that,
Well, maybe email and,
yeah, you can certainly, if you have questions, reach out to myself. All council meetings are open to the public.
Mhm.
I am actually working with staff and council to reformat the council agendas a little bit to make them easier for everybody. So there'll actually be a public hearing portion for items on the agenda and then a public hearing portion for items not on the agenda. And you'll be able to speak if it's
Nice.
on or not. You can bring any item to them.
okay.
So.
And then we receive the agenda at the meeting, not before.
So the agenda is published Fridays on our website.
Okay.
So you would be able to access it before, and then we do have printed copies of the agenda at the meeting as well.
Okay.
And I know that Lisa has been trying to get a Facebook notice out, typically around the same time it goes on the website, correct?
I usually try to do those, if it's for a council meeting, like on Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday, the week before.
Okay,
Just so there's notice out there that we're having a meeting
and then the agenda is published Friday.
on Friday.
Okay,
I tend to get information blurred, so, it's more appropriate to ask questions there versus here,
yes.
Great, that's a good question.
Thank you.
Diane, or if you ever have questions, you can come to the office and talk to any one of us if it's something that we can help you with, and then if
Okay.
not, then you can always address the council.
Any announcements? Danielle, it's not on here, so it's not necessary, but do you have any kind of report for us or anything you want to tell us about your first weeks?
I don't think, I actually was going to mention, so I'm still trying to get my feet under me. There's been a lot going on. Budget has been taking up a lot of my time right now, with us having a short deadline for that. My door is always open, so if there's anything that you guys want to talk about, have questions about, think that I should know about or look into, definitely reach out to me and I will make time for you. I plan on attending these meetings just to hopefully be a resource for you guys, especially on the village side. I know Holly and Lisa and Heather all probably do that without me, but just to help support them too. So it is my intent to attend these. I do lastly want to let you guys know that council is holding a committee of the whole meeting on August 16th, which is Monday at 7. And at that meeting, they would like to, part of it will be working with me and giving me some direction, but they would also like to have a representative from each of the boards attend to be able to talk to them, just provide an update on some things you've been working on, and then for council to give you guys some feedback or direction, goals that they have as well. So I did want to let you guys know that you are all invited to that, or again, if you want just the chair to come speak on your behalf, whatever's easiest for you as a group. But I did want to invite you to that meeting as well.
I feel like we just did that.
Yeah, we
January.
In January, okay. Good, I'm glad it wasn't my imagination, because. Okay,
so you'll be doing that meeting for us. Will you be available?
I don't know. Actually, that's a Monday, correct?
Yes.
I think I do have a meeting I should be covering, but I'll confirm that. I think that's school board that night, but I work for the paper.
Okay.
I don't know if you know. Yeah, so I guess this week, it's fortunate there aren't other meetings because I can be here, but yeah, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
I mean, whoever wants to speak if I can't. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Diane,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Seven thirty.
That was quick.